Unless you've been hiding under a rock, which is most un-ninja-like, then you've certainly heard about the Burj Khalifa, formerly known as the Burj Dubai Tower, designed by Chicago-based architecture firm Skidmore, Owings & Merrill. The Burj Khalifa is a building that breaks many records. Not only has it claimed the title of tallest skyscraper in the world, but it is also the tallest structure ever built by man, soaring 828 meters to the top of its spire. It also boasts the world's fastest elevators. They can travel up to 64 kilometers an hour to service the Burj's 160 floors, which includes the first Armani hotel and residences, office space, the world's highest, a swimming pool on the 76th floor, the world's highest outdoor observation deck on the 124th floor, and the world's highest mosque on the 154th floor. But behind the Burj's glimmering aluminum and glass facade and the fireworks and fanfare of the opening ceremony lies the untold story and the statistics you don't get to see. So join us in today's video as we talk about the dark side of the world's tallest building, Burj Khalifa, and how is it losing money. But before we continue, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel with all notifications enabled for more interesting content like this. Having said that, let's get started. Towering over the city of Dubai at 2,717 feet tall with 160 floors, the Burj Khalifa became the tallest tower in the world when it opened in 2010. It also holds Guinness World Records titles for the tallest human-made structure and the highest restaurant. However, it probably comes as no surprise that workers who turned this dream into reality received extremely low pay in return for risking their lives to build the $1.5 billion tower. Around 10,000 to 12,000 workers, mostly poor migrants from South Asia, built the Burj. With no laws governing minimum wages in the United Arab Emirates, some workers reported making less than $10 a day, according to a Human Rights Watch study. It is also common practice for employers in Dubai to confiscate workers' passports so they won't leave the country before they've completed their duties. The Burj Khalifa, more than 60% taller than any other building in the world, has firmly established itself as an international landmark. It even played a starring role in the latest Mission Impossible blockbuster. But it is thus far a flop with investors. The building, which is more than a half-mile high and bills itself as the world's most prestigious address, has seen prices drop from as much as 9,000 dirhams a square foot to the pre-crisis peak to as low as 2,650 dirhams. From an investor's point of view, Burj Khalifa is one of the least attractive investments in Dubai. The reason is because there is steady demand from a niche market that wants to live in such a high-profile building, but rents currently aren't high enough to generate yield as an investment property, and sale prices remain stagnant at best. In addition, while many Burj Khalifa residents are wowed by the building's grand scale and opulence, some prospective buyers are put off that they have to change elevators twice to get to apartments on higher floors, and tight security can mean a hassle for visitors. Construction on the Burj Khalifa began in 2004, and Emaar said all of the apartments sold out before it was completed, but the financial crisis landed before the building opened in January of 2010. The Burj Khalifa launched not only in the immediate aftermath of the global financial crisis, but also amid a huge glut of luxury apartment buildings in Dubai. That immediately drove prices lower, and they have only recently begun to stabilize. As a result, for prices at least 20 to 30% lower, investors can pick up high-end units in desirable locations such as the Palm Jumeirah, the palm-shaped island jutting into the Persian Gulf, and the Dubai Marina. Another cost to consider at the Burj Khalifa is the service fees, which residents say are about $15 a square foot annually. As an investor, the service fees will kill you. Those costs, along with the relatively high rents, have some residents looking elsewhere. A staggering 29% of Dubai's Burj Khalifa is empty, with more than 200 meters of the skyscraper almost deserted. The world's tallest building was completed in 2010 and stands a massive 830 meters tall. It's home to thousands of residents and is crammed with luxury homes, state-of-the-art entertainment spaces, and even outside pools. But due to the ostentatious nature of its design, a large proportion of the colossal skyscraper is completely uninhabitable. The tower has over 200 stories, but only 160 of them are habitable, with over 200 meters of vast structure being too thin for anything of substance to be built into it. Although many safety precautions were taken in the construction of the Burj Khalifa, it seems almost impossible that there was only one reported construction fatality. According to a spokesman for the developer, a man fell to his death in 2007. However, the Human Rights Watch study speculated that this was a cover-up, omitting deaths related to heat exhaustion, overwork, and suicide. Emaar Properties recently claimed that 90% of the building had been sold. However, it is not clear how much of it will be occupied. A spokeswoman refused to comment on whether buyers have walked away from deals at Burj due to the economic slump. On average, rents in Dubai have fallen between 30 and 60% in the last 2 years, which is consistent with rates for the Burj Khalifa apartments. According to Bloomberg News, apartment prices in the tower have fallen to less than half of the $2,700 a square foot that they reached at the 2008 peak. German newspaper Der Spiegel speculated that the tower is so enormous that the air temperature at the top is up to 8 degrees Celsius lower than at the base. If anyone ever hit upon the idea of opening a door at the top and a door at the bottom, as well as the airlocks in between, a storm could rush through the air-conditioned building that would destroy most everything in its wake, except perhaps the heavy marble tiles in the luxury apartments. Well, that sounds a lot risky and might be a fraction of the reason why half the tower is empty. Arabian Business reports that the tower will require a total of 960,000 liters or 250,000 gallons of water per day, and during peak demand, the electricity needed is equal to burning 500,000 100-watt light bulbs concurrently. But how long can the Burj Khalifa last before it burns out? According to project manager Greg Sang, the tower was designed to last about 100 years. While that is a decent lifespan for such a tall building, it pales in comparison to other wonders of our world. The Dubai-based construction company that helped build the world's tallest building and other engineering marvels in the United Arab Emirates has announced that it would enter liquidation, the final step in a long collapse from the country's economic crisis a decade ago, hastened by the coronavirus pandemic. Shareholders of the UAE-based Arabtec holding, which helped build the world's tallest skyscraper, have voted to dissolve the debt-laden construction company, putting 40,000 jobs at risk. Founded in 1975, Arabtec has built both skyscrapers and the infrastructure needed to pump oil and natural gas in this OPEC member nation. It helped build the Burj Khalifa, the centerpiece of modern downtown Dubai, which at 2,717 feet is the world's tallest building. It also built the Louvre Abu Dhabi, Abu Dhabi's Emirates Palace Hotel, and a major centerpiece of Dubai's upcoming Expo 2020 World's Fair. But Arabtec, like other construction firms, has struggled to come out of the shadow of Dubai's 2009 financial crisis, which saw its property market collapse and the city ultimately received $20 billion in bailouts from Abu Dhabi, the Emirates' oil-rich capital. Arabtec's corporate turmoil in 2014 also saw it drag down the Dubai financial market by a quarter of its value as its own shares fell over 60%, raising questions about why financial regulators didn't step in and over transparency in UAE markets. The collapse of Arabtec will likely have a further knock-on effect on the vital construction industry in Dubai, as it remained attached to other major projects in the city-state. Already, Dubai has seen property values drop by a third since 2014, and its tourism and travel industry remains weak because of the pandemic. The Burj Khalifa is like a Swiss watch, every part working together to resist the forces of nature such as wind, seismic, and gravity. Yet forces like gravity are not simple to deal with. Gravitational forces pull the skyscraper in only one, quite predictable direction, down. The environmental impacts of such a building are enormous. At peak, the Burj requires 12,500 tons of cooling per hour. The tower consumes 250,000 gallons of water a day. Peak electrical demand is roughly equivalent to 500,000 100-watt light bulbs. No wonder why it's losing money as we talk. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more interesting content like this, and turn on the notifications to get all the latest updates.